problem with Strange New Worlds, and I'm going to talk about it now while I'm watching Strange Brew in the background because it's a much better movie because it has hockey. And you know how I feel about hockey.
We've been up and down on this journey to the cup.
No. Tell his mom to not cut him off because, you know what?
You guys are so amazing.
I gotta look at them. I touched their sticks. Anyway, speaking of hockey, I mean, there's a guy in a Leafs jersey wandering around right in front of, or is this like a little scarfy thing that you get at the games, right? Wandering around right in front of Captain Buttknocker Kirk. In this Strange New Worlds episode, it takes them for... Spoilers. You would think Captain Kirk would, I don't know, look up and read, hey, Toronto Eaton Center, and be like, I wonder if we're in Toronto. No, he's like, no. Are we in New York? No, he would probably look up and like, wait a minute, Toronto Eaton Center? Where's Toronto at? I thought Toronto was demolished and blah, 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 blah. Because they go back in time. Lady Khan, La'an Noonien Singh, goes back in time with Kirk. Because some guy from the future, or from the past, goes to her and zaps her with a little teleporty, time portal-y thingamaboob. And there's no dog licking hers, sadly. Also, go K-Knights, go.
And I know you have been here day one.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds. All right, so it starts off. The guy beams into this hallway with La'an Noonien Singh. La'an, and she's delicious and wonderful to look at. The thing about that, though, is that the show is so dumb in the premise. I mean, she goes over to Captain Buttknocker's ship, and instead of you like that, call it Captain Buttknocker, and instead of him going, security, who is this person on my bridge? Hey, can we get somebody to scan this random person who appears on my bridge? No. They don't do that. They can't do that. Why can't they do that? I don't know why they can't do that. He yells at her, and then she mansplains to him why he's dumb over on in his little ready room. And he's like, oh, you made us beam down to this thing, and now my whole time might not exist. It's like, well, you're the dumb butt knocker who didn't even scan her or the device that she has before you guys activated, because what happened? They were going to wrestle it out of her hand?
Yeah,
he was going to wrestle it out of her hand instead of scanning her. So there's so many stupid things. Then they get down to this planet. He looks around. Oh, are we in New York? It says Toronto Eaton Center. Okay, so yeah, the whole thing, Toronto doesn't exist in his timeline, right? Because he's from whatever timeline that Toronto blew up and, WW5000 happened. Problem is, they go down to modern day Toronto now. You got a guy with a Leafs thing wandering around the background. They go into a store, right? This is the one that we saw, that we had oh gosh, what was it? Here, I'm gonna pause the movie here. What was the leak thing from Instagram, and then they had to admit that, yeah, we've got this Captain Buttknocker guy as Kirk. And Paul Wesley somebody, I don't know. Paul Wesley Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, I don't know his name. Anyway, I don't care, we're never going to see him again. He's a TV actor, he's going to be on the convention circuits, and creation's going to know who he is. Because he's on every one of these dumb shows that they film up in Toronto. That's why they got him. He's cheap, he's local, he probably is in 700 of these others. He's probably in Supernatural or something, right? With Alden Third Ehrenreich. Did they make the Pride Parade in Toronto, by the way? Did they make it in time for that? No, it was cold, and it was very freezing. And they go to a store to steal stuff, clothes or merchandise or something. They come out in the same outfit, and she's like, oh, he's dreamy, he's just like me. And he's like, oh, she's dreamy, she's just like me. It's really dumb. It's really dumb and cringe. What else happens in that? Oh, La'an, she's like, oh yes, they're gonna expect us to pay for these things somehow. So she throws a little wallet in some random old lady's bag. So security goes and chases her out and tackles her down, and punches the ever-living, bejesus out of him or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't really happen. But it might have happened because she could have carried out on him for all La'an knows. So La'an ruins this poor woman's life for no reason. Mm-hmm. So they can steal some clothes. Kirk, meanwhile, she's like, oh, we're going to need money at some point. I don't know why. They got so much money from Kirk playing. He was pool sharking chess in the park. He was chess sharking and winning money playing chess from everybody. That they got enough money to have this ginormous wraparound balcony view apartment in the middle of Toronto to see this giant CGI bridge. This is a giant plot point that it blows up in this thing because it's like the longest bridge in the world because it's a symbol of globalism and peace and globalism and stuff, right? And peace and globalism and peace.
You guys are so amazing.
I don't know. I just wanted to look at that again. I got to touch their sticks. Did I mention that? Anyway, that's what it's making me go to, hockey, because Star Trek is not good anymore. And it made me remember, one of those things I liked, I grew up with, was stuff like hockey. That's why we're watching Strange Brew again. Because, Strange New World, Strange Brew, you type them in the search bar, one of them's gonna show up, one of them might not. Depending on which service you're on, right? What streamer is this on? I don't know, I couldn't tell you. Anyway, Strange Brew, we're at the point where they're zapping each other in the loony bin. I think Zap Captain Buttknocker. Oh, there's this whole thing set up with Carol Kane Simca character. She's supposed to be like 7,000 years old, and all she does is just collect antiques and junk in Vermont now. And that's a plot point that we have to see her have a whole bunch of junk in the ship that La'an's talking about. So she knows to go back in time to Vermont when Carol Kane was there to say, hey, we know your secret. And her secret is that she can give them a watch that glows in the dark when they're near Romulan things, I guess, or space things.
Yep.
Because they go to, and they win on so much money. They're in this ginormous apartment, the wraparound bridge that they must have paid, I don't know how much for. How did they get the apartment? How many years on the lease were they on? Did they sign a lease? Did they put a down payment? Is it an Airbnb? I mean, wouldn't they have gotten a motel somewhere? No, they just needed that giant view. I mean, they had a bed and a room and a couch. So Buttknocker was on the couch. And she started falling in love with him for some reason. I don't know, because he's dumb. He's really dumb. He's really, really, really dumb in this. And he keeps trying to feed her hot dogs for some reason, and she doesn't want to eat because she's like a size 0 and she doesn't eat ever, apparently, in this universe. But he convinces her to eat a hot dog, and she takes a bite of it, and then she loses her appetite because the bridge blows up, I guess, or maybe I can't remember what order. They go there and they find Kim Poole, this little beanie-wearing girl, taking pictures, journalism, and going, hey, the aliens are in it because your globalism people are taking over and making one world, and they don't want you to progress because you're going to go out there and cause a lot of trouble, and nobody likes you, and you're just going to start wars and end people's lives. You're just going to cause, you're too stupid to be out there. So this Romulan lady goes in and she's the one taking pictures, right? She's the one taking pictures of this bridge, this Romulan Kim Poole chick with the beanie and everything. But we don't know she's a Romulan until later. That's the big plot twist. Dun dun dun. Dun, dun, she's got a Romulan bird of prey in the pictures that she starts telling Kirk and fake Kirk and Lady
Kim Poole.
Kim Poole. Let's just jump ahead. Spoilers. Kim Poole is back in time because she's been sitting there for 80 years waiting for a little baby Khan to be born just so that La'an Noonien Singh can open up genetically the door to his little room where he's drawing little cowies and little kitties and little sons and mommy with a smile, his little cowie drawings because he's a little kid. Mm-hmm. So she has to go back in time and make sure that her ancestor Khan is not ended by this Romulan.
She was going to whack him, but she had to save him.
She was going to whack him and then had to save him.
This is...
Get closer to the microphone.
We've gotten essentially the same exact plot.
It's just City on the Edge of Forever again.
Yes, it's just City on the Edge of Forever again.
Not you.
This was the same plot as Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, they have to go... Only she has to go back in time and make sure that Khan, who's basically worse than the World War II bad guy, who's conquered Earth by now, but and Carol Kane's useless in this episode. Doesn't really do anything other than make some watch that points them to something where the Romulan Kim Poole chick finds them anyway. It's just...
It's inane, really.
It's
It
so
really is.
dumb.
And we've gotten the same plot.
Three things in a row now. I bet Dial of Destiny's going to be the same thing.
In Strange New World before, the season finale, remember?
Yeah, they have to go back in time and undo it. And it's the same thing with Captain Buttknocker again, too. So he ends up dying in this. And then this Romulan lady spends 80 years stalking little baby Khan, little Khan baby.
Khan baby.
Little Khan baby.
Finally found him.
Just to mess up at the last second by talking and doing this grandstanding thing, so that La'an shoots her. Instead of just going, we need La'an's hand to open the door, so let's get La'an, knock her out, grab her handprint, shoot her after the door's open, then shoot little baby Khan. But no,
that's what a thinking person
would do. It would take a lot less time. Khan would be gone.
And everybody's speechifying about their condition.
Speech. I don't want to hear it. And then little baby Khan, he's there crying though now. And then Lady Khan, La'an, has to go and wipe his tears. So now she was nice to him. So now is he not going to conquer the world and be a bad guy?
No, he's still gonna.
It's bad. So then she goes back to her ship. Can't tell anybody anything. Because a time cop shows up, a temporal police, a Daniels, only it's a black trans woman, shows up and says, you can't tell anybody anything, you can't tell your captain, none of this happened. So what's she do? She goes and calls Kirk and starts crying because she's just fell in love with him and he died in the other thing.
Yes, I don't seem to remember.
Because they both have competing timelines. So it's like, well, it's her timeline or my timeline? He's like, you know what? I'd rather live in your timeline than my timeline because at least your timeline has sky and sunsets. Mm-hmm. Oh, it is so bad. It is so bad. So that's what happens in that. It is universe breaking. It confirms that they have no idea what they're doing and what time zone and what time period they're set in. Because now Kirk says, "Oh yeah, we popped down to the Apple store to Google or to where he introduced me to DuckDuckGo, where I learned where Carol Kane's Simca was." With her stupid accent that we can't understand.
She's still doing the Simca accent.
Because she's doing the Simca accent.
Maybe I actually heard her
Build
real
me
voice.
like a grapefruit so we can get out of here.
Ibida!
Oh. So she's not even an engineer. She's just some crazy old lady who collects junk. She's not even an engineer at this timeline yet. She's like, maybe I'll be an engineer. Because they show up and they're like, we know your secret. So they drive 8 hours. At least from Toronto to where the crap is it? Vermont. So they go to Vermont to find Simca.
7-8 hours.
Instead of just over to across the bridge to Detroit or somewhere where they would go.
Or 2 hours around the lake to Buffalo.
By now, Khan was conquering the galaxy. Here, you're the more expert than me. Do you want to take the hot seat for a second, or you just want to yell into the mic? Or just yell into the mic about it?
Khan was already well into space by the time this episode takes place. 92 to 96, he conquered a quarter of the world. But Akiva Goldsman, in his infinite wisdom, says they have to keep pushing the dates back because otherwise they won't line up with our timeline. Genius! Okay? Hey, genius. It's a TV show.
It doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to.
It hasn't since the 90s.
It's a work of fiction. Just because you can't accept that, just because you can't distinguish fantasy from reality, doesn't mean the rest of us can. Cannot as well.
I just can't accept the fact that Kirk would step into Toronto and ask if it's New York, even if he didn't know it existed. Because you would have heard of it. You would have read something. You would have something. No, I did not. No. I did not explain how stupid it was in detail that... Okay, so the choice was not like the Edith... This is Edith Keeler again. This is the Edith Keeler. You gotta go back in time and save or stop or prevent or something or whatever, right? It's not so much that it is the choice of, you go back in time. They're making it so that she has no choice in this matter. That nobody's going to choose ending the child, right? Nobody's going to choose ending the life of the child, right? No person in their right mind is going to go back in time and be like, you know what? Maybe the world would be better without this. Especially if you see a little kid with his little cowie drawings and his little kitty drawings, you know, a little smiley face in the clouds and all that stuff. You're not going to want to end that person. And no person is going to do that. Everyone wants to protect those. Even because he hasn't done anything yet. He's just a little kid. He's innocent. He's innocent in this. So it doesn't even give you a good moral dilemma. I mean, they're trying to focus so much on the fact that she's heartbroken that Kirk died in the other universe, and she had this love, and she was manipulated into losing somebody, and she killed people who never existed now because to protect, and you know, she killed some Romulan, and she has to live with it. That is a much weaker premise, I think, just to go back and save the kid. That, I mean, because of course you're going to, you know. It would have been more interesting though if for some reason she were going back to end him and she wanted to end him. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe then it wouldn't be Star Trek though. I couldn't tell you. That's the problem with it. It's like the twist is just nowhere near as interesting as they think it is. And what it's ripping off is so much better than what it turned out to be. So, and the fact that, you know, I spent 15 minutes complaining about it, and we spent 3 hours watching it. So if you want to see the full painful experience where Star Trek just got completely destroyed, I don't know if I'll put it in my channel membership, or you can just check it out unlisted and I'll link it somewhere. I'll probably make it a members only thing as a reward for people who want to sit through it. If you want to sit through it again for 3 hours, we watched that. And you watched it, maybe, psychically through the crystal ball or something, or a filter. I don't know. One or the other. I'm not sure. I am going back to my live chat and to Strange Brew. We've got, 10 minutes of this, and then we might watch the next Indiana Jones movie. Nice. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
I order you to undress and show me your thingies.